Any man who would abandon you at the altar is a fool who doesn't deserve you. Those words echoed in Madison's mind as she stood alone in the empty church, her wedding dress torn between tears and disbelief. Just hours ago she had believed in forever, only to be left shattered by the man she thought loved her. But then out of nowhere a stranger named Logan appeared, offering not pity but a lifeline, a marriage of convenience that could change everything. It sounded impossible, even insane, but for Madison, desperate and lost, it was a chance to rebuild her life on her own terms. What began as a business arrangement soon revealed something deeper, something neither of them expected: a fragile hope that love could grow from the ashes of heartbreak. This is not just a story of betrayal and loss. It's a story of courage, healing, and the surprising paths our hearts can take when given a second chance. Stay with me, because what happens next will challenge everything you thought you knew about love and trust. The echo of expensive leather shoes hitting the polished marble floor filled the nearly empty Gracefield church. Brandon Walker's sharp gaze fixed on the altar where Madison Ellis stood like a fragile statue, draped in white, trembling, her bouquet held tightly as if it could anchor her to reality. Around her, wedding guests whispered and filed out with pity and confusion, their faces reflecting a collective disbelief that a bride could be left alone on her wedding day. Brandon wasn't supposed to be here today. He had only been driving by, caught by the sight of this strange, somber scene. The church doors opened and closed in hushed waves, revealing the growing emptiness inside. Yet Madison stayed rooted, her eyes distant and haunted, as if the world had slipped away from her grasp. Her maid of honor, Chloe Morgan, was by her side, her burgundy dress stark against the church's pale stone walls. Chloe's face mirrored Madison's devastation, eyes glossy and voice shaky as she whispered, "Where is he? Where's Logan?" The groom was nowhere to be found, vanished without a word, without explanation. Brandon felt an involuntary surge of anger as he watched from the back pew. What kind of man would abandon a woman at the altar, leaving her to face the humiliation and heartbreak alone? What coward leaves behind the woman he vowed to love in front of everyone they know? A disheveled young man, Logan's best man, burst back into the church, panic written across his face. "I've called him 20 times, he stammered. "His phone goes straight to voicemail. His car is gone from the apartment." The words landed like blows. Madison's trembling hands tightened around the bouquet. "Did he say anything yesterday?" "This morning?" Chloe asked, voice cracking. "No, nothing. He was nervous, sure. But he talked about the honeymoon, our future. No warning, he just disappeared." The few remaining guests murmured their pity, their whispers piercing the heavy silence like daggers. "Maybe it's for the best," one said. But Brandon clenched his fists. How could anyone believe that? How could this nightmare be for the best? Madison's mother, Karen Ellis, rushed to her daughter's side, tears streaming down her face. "Sweetheart, let's get you out of this dress. Let's go home." But Madison shook her head, voice hollow. "I can't go back there, our apartment, all our things. The wedding gifts unopened. I can't face it." Brandon's chest tightened with a mix of sympathy and resolve. This wasn't just a wedding gone wrong, it was a life shattered in an instant. Chloe squeezed Madison's hand, her offer of shelter earnest but fragile. "You can stay with me as long as you need. We'll figure this out." Madison looked lost, like a ship untethered, drifting in a storm without hope. The last guest departed. The church was silent except for Madison, Chloe, Karen, and Brandon. The weight of the moment was suffocating. Suddenly, Brandon stepped forward, breaking the stillness. He didn't know why. Maybe it was the raw dignity Madison held despite the heartbreak or the helplessness he saw in her eyes. Whatever it was, he couldn't turn away. He approached slowly, careful not to startle. "Excuse me," he said gently, voice steady but kind. "I don't mean to intrude, but it's clear you're going through something no one should face alone." Madison looked up, startled. "Do I know you?" "I'm Brandon Walker," he replied, nodding politely. "And I believe that sometimes when life pulls the rug out from under us, we need to find unexpected ways to stand back up." Chloe shifted protectively beside Madison. "Who is this man? What does he want?" Brandon met Madison's eyes. Nothing but to offer help. And maybe a chance for a fresh start. Madison's tears welled again, but this time there was a flicker, a spark of curiosity or maybe hope. Brandon continued softly, "Whatever happened here today, it does not define your worth. Any man who leaves you standing in that dress is not worthy of your future." The church clock chimed softly as Madison processed his words. The storm in her heart quieted just a little. Brandon offered a small smile. "I think we should talk about turning what feels like the worst day of your life into the first day of something new." The sun dipped low outside the church windows as Madison nodded faintly, the weight of despair giving way to a fragile thread of possibility. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we hope you will help us improve our content in the future. What would you do if you were in Madison's shoes? Would you trust a stranger who shows up on your darkest day with an offer to help? Have you ever faced a moment that shattered your world and found unexpected hope afterward? Share your thoughts below. Madison woke up the next morning in Chloe's cramped apartment, the faint hum of city traffic filtering through the thin walls. The soft glow of dawn cast long shadows across the cluttered room. For a moment, she was disoriented. This was not where she had expected to be when she closed her eyes the night before. The weight of yesterday's devastation pressed down on her chest like a lead blanket. Her wedding day had ended in betrayal. Logan, her fiancé, the man she trusted, dreamed about spending forever with, had vanished without a word, leaving her standing alone in that church, humiliated and heartbroken. She clutched the wedding band that was supposed to symbolize a lifetime commitment and now felt like a cruel joke. Yet amidst the overwhelming sorrow was the unexpected Brandon Walker's proposition. His offer had been as shocking as it was bewildering: a marriage of convenience, a business arrangement designed to give her stability while helping him maintain the image his high-powered career demanded. Sophia shook her head, frustrated with herself for even considering it. How could she possibly say yes to marrying a man she barely knew, just days after being abandoned at the altar? Chloe, sensing her turmoil, placed a comforting hand on Madison's shoulder. "You don't have to decide right now, but sometimes the path forward isn't what you expect. Sometimes it's the unexpected that saves you." Madison looked up, her eyes rimmed with red, but filled with a flicker of curiosity. Could this strange arrangement really be the lifeline she desperately needed? That afternoon, Brandon called to check in. His voice was steady, kind, but beneath it, Madison sensed a quiet determination. A man who had faced his own battles and wasn't about to let her fall through the cracks. They agreed to meet the next day in a quiet cafe downtown. When Madison arrived, she was immediately struck by the contrast between the sharp businessman she glimpsed in the church and the man sitting across from her, now warm, patient, and surprisingly genuine. "I know this is unusual," Brandon began, "but I believe there's a way we can help each other. You need stability, a fresh start. I need someone who can be by my side, a partner, in more ways than one." Madison's brows furrowed. "So you want to marry me?" "Just like that." "Not just marry," he said carefully. "A partnership, a chance for both of us to regain what we've lost." She studied him, searching for any hint of insincerity. But all she saw was a man who understood loss, who respected her dignity, and who wasn't asking for more than she could give. Over the next few days, Madison wrestled with the decision. Memories of Logan's betrayal haunted her, the empty promises, the unexplained absence, the crushing loneliness in that church. But there was something about Brandon's offer that sparked hope, a chance to rebuild without the shadows of the past looming over her. One evening, as Madison sat alone on Chloe's balcony, the city lights flickering below her phone buzzed. It was Logan. Her heart pounded. Why now, after everything she debated, ignoring the call, but finally answered, her voice trembling. "Madison, please," I can explain. Logan's voice was urgent, desperate. "Explain what," she asked coldly. "How you left me at the altar, how you disappeared without a word." I panicked. The pressure, it was too much. "But I love you. I want to make it right." Madison's breath caught. Could she forgive? Could she forget? "I don't think you understand what you did," she said, tears spilling over. "You broke me. Please, just give me another chance." The line went silent for a moment before Madison spoke again, voice steady. "No, Logan. You had your chance. I'm choosing to move forward, with someone who shows up, not runs away." After hanging up, she felt a strange mix of relief and sadness. The past was closing its door. 2 weeks later, Madison stood in front of the courthouse, dressed not in the ruined wedding gown, but in a sleek navy dress Brandon had thoughtfully helped her pick. The ceremony was quiet, just witnesses, a few close friends, and the steady presence of Brandon. It wasn't the wedding she had dreamed of, but somehow it felt real, hopeful, like the first page of a new chapter. That night, as they sat in Brandon's elegant living room, she finally allowed herself to relax. "You know," Brandon said with a small smile, "I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad you're here." Madison met his eyes, a genuine smile blooming. "Me too." The journey ahead was uncertain, filled with challenges and surprises. But for the first time in months, Madison felt ready to face it, not alone, but with someone who saw her, respected her, and believed in second chances. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we hope you will help us improve our content in the future. Have you ever faced a moment when your whole world shattered? How did you find the strength to rebuild? Would you trust someone who offers an unexpected lifeline after heartbreak? Share your thoughts below. Months passed since Madison and Brandon's quiet courthouse wedding. What started as a marriage of convenience blossomed into something neither of them had expected, a genuine partnership built on respect, trust, and slowly love. Madison settled into her new life in Brandon's elegant townhouse nestled in the heart of the city. Though the grandeur was unfamiliar, the warmth she felt there was real. Brandon's kindness went beyond their arrangement. He took time to listen to understand her dreams and fears, encouraging her to rediscover herself beyond the shadows of her past. Work at the marketing firm was thriving. Brandon had introduced her to new professional opportunities that reignited her passion and confidence. She was no longer just a woman defined by heartbreak. She was a force in her own right, carving a future she wanted. One crisp autumn evening, as they walked through the park near their home, the city lights shimmering on the river, Brandon stopped and took Madison's hand. "I want to thank you," he said softly, "for trusting me, for giving us a chance. You've brought light into a life I thought was already full." Madison squeezed his hand. "And you gave me a chance to heal, to hope again. I never thought I'd find that after everything." Their journey wasn't without challenges. Logan's reappearance months earlier had stirred emotions and doubts, but Madison had made her choice. When Logan had tried to reconnect, she'd stood firm, realizing that love is more than words. It's actions and commitment. Brandon and Madison built a life where honesty was sacred. They shared laughter, dreams, even fears, things neither had dared voice before. The walls around their hearts crumbled as they found safety and belonging in each other. One Sunday morning, Madison sat with Brandon in their sunlit kitchen, sipping coffee. "Do you ever think about where we started?" she asked. Brandon chuckled. "Every day. From a church full of broken dreams to this, I'm grateful for every twist that brought us here." They talked about the future, not just the business deals and social events, but about family, about creating a home filled with love and hope. Madison felt a peace she hadn't known in years, a certainty that this was where she belonged. Their love story was far from traditional. It began with a shattered dream, a desperate offer, and a mutual need for stability. But it grew into a testament to resilience, to the power of second chances, and to the idea that sometimes when life breaks you, it's only making space for something greater. Madison's story reminds us that endings can be beginnings, that trust once lost can be rebuilt, and that love in its truest form is patient, kind, and fiercely loyal. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the interruption, but we hope you will help us improve our content in the future. What did you think of Madison and Brandon's journey? Did their unconventional start make their love more meaningful? Have you ever experienced a moment where a difficult beginning led to something beautiful? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, please comment 100 and let us know where you're watching from. Don't forget to share this video with friends who might need a little hope today.